What's better, subdomain, subfolder? Many people don't know. Many business owners have no idea. And this question recently was posed to me, and once again, I love answering questions. So if you have any, by the way, drop them below and I will answer them at any time. Let's talk about subdomain and subfolder. First, what usually comes up is number one, what is a subdomain? A subdomain is merely like in the situation like this. So it is what precedes your website.com. So could be jobs for if you're a staffing agency and you want your jobs database to live on a subdomain, it could be there. If you have a large customer service area in your website, maybe you're a SaaS or a software developer or owner, you might want to use support there. And so you might have support.website.com in that situation. However, you might be using a subfolder, and a subfolder is different because that's actually a folder that lives off of your root domain. In this situation, I'm using blog, so it's website.com/blog. Before I move any further, a subdomain is a separate website, and that's how Google sees these sites. These are two separate websites. Even though they're both website.com, we have jobs.website.com and website.com. They're both two different websites from a Google search standpoint. So that is why we want to really understand and determine which is going to be the best use. Should we be using a subdomain or should we be using a subfolder? From an SEO standpoint, it doesn't matter. We can optimize both the subdomain and the subfolder. We can apply all site-side SEO optimization, title, meta tag, H1s, schema, page. We can do page speed optimization. We can do the whole 9 yards of SEO on either the subdomain or the subfolder. It's just a matter of where does it make sense from a business standpoint. So you have to understand that you can use either, but what is the purpose of that content? Is the purpose of the content to be isolated in this situation where I just want all of my job openings to live in a separate area in the subdomain, or would I prefer to have them live off of my subfolder? There's many pros and cons, and lucky for you, I wrote up a whole blog post about this, which I will link below, and that will inform you as to all of the pros and cons to either of these. Now, from an SEO standpoint, one of my favorite things to do is internal linking. Now, technically, internal linking is linking from one of my blog posts here, maybe in this situation, this is a nurse's salary blog post, and maybe I want to link it to something else in my website. Well, if I own a subdomain and I'm mentioning a nurse's salary, and maybe somewhere in that article I can mention, and if you're interested in some potential nursing opportunities, go check them out here, and then I'm linking them up to my jobs specific subdomain into the nursing section in there. That would be a great opportunity for some good linking to a relevant page in that scenario. So again, pros and cons, there are many for both. Check out the article that I linked below. If you have any questions on which is better, a subdomain or a subfolder, drop those below. I'm happy to answer those comments as well. But as I mentioned, the number one question you have to ask yourself is, who is this content for? What is its purpose? That should help dictate whether you should be using a subdomain or a subfolder. What happens if I want to move from jobs from a subdomain to a subfolder? That task is considered to be a migration. It's a migration that will involve your development team, but it will also and should also involve your SEO. Whether it's your SEO consultant or your agency, they should be involved in that whole migration because you can mitigate the risk of any traffic degradation or decline in any way, shape, or form. And so that's why you want to include that SEO for that migration. But you could totally migrate one to the other if you needed to. So hopefully that answered those questions on the whole topic of subdomain versus subfolder. As I said, if you've got any other questions, drop them below. I'm happy to answer. Thanks for watching.